Thank you, Ms. Chairperson and honorable judges. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yaurana, yahate furu, fari maite tapaunato aroha. I just did a short greeting in Tahitian, the language spoken in Tahiti, located 4,400 kilometers south of Hawaii. The reason why I picked Tahitian is because I wanted to use the language which nobody could understand, unless you're from Tahiti. How would you feel when the person you're listening to is talking in an unfamiliar language? I bet some of you looked around to make sure it was not only you who didn't understand what I was saying. Listening to a language you're not familiar with is uncomfortable, it makes you nervous, and even scared. Some students in Japan feel just like this. They are foreign students. Foreign students are those born outside Japan, but are living here due to their parents' business. According to the 2014 survey conducted by Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology, out of 73,000 foreign students, 29,000 of them need help in their Japanese skills. That is about 40% of the total. In this globalized world, it seems that many people pursue careers related to foreign countries and languages, and many dream of working overseas. However, we're also overlooking a problem inside in Japan. Many foreign students living here are having a difficult time attending school. 90% of them are elementary and junior high school students. The number of dropouts is increasing. There are many possible reasons, such as culture shock, differences in lifestyle, or their parents' financial problems. But language is the biggest reason causing foreign students out of school. Unfortunately, there haven't been enough measures taken to help those students. Please recall your elementary and junior high school years, especially those who attended public school. How many foreign students were there in your class? Probably none of them, maybe one at the most. So you may think, if there aren't many foreign students, it's not a problem at all. But it is. The number is small because the school system in Japan is not flexible for foreign students. Schools like international and private schools are extremely expensive. Many foreigners choose public school. However, most public schools in Japan don't have special classes or enough teachers who can speak foreign students' native language. It is very stressful for foreign students to study a new language and catch up with the rest of the class. Please imagine a classroom. Students taking turns reading textbooks. A student said to the teacher, pointing a girl, "She doesn't speak English." The teacher skipped her turn, not even giving her a try. Was a girl happy because she didn't have to read? Or was she sad? I was sad. I wanted to read. Yes, that girl is me, 8 years ago. Back in 2007, I was a foreign student to the United States. I moved there due to my father's business and started attending a local school without knowing how to write ABCs. For the first few months, the school life was harder than I had expected. What everybody was saying sounded like a noise, just like the Tahitian you've heard in the very beginning of the speech. When my classmates said, "She doesn't speak English," I felt being left out. In every class, I would sit and do nothing. What I envisioned is a classroom full of students sharing their ideas and feelings, regardless of where they come from. But how can we make that happen? If there were enough teachers who could speak foreign students' native language, it wouldn't be a problem. But it takes time to train and recruit that many teachers. Perhaps foreign students come from all around the world, from Europe, North and South America, and Asia. I think the best way is to call for volunteers from organizations, corporations, and university students. Providing after-school classes and reviewing what students have learned together could be a help for them. I remember the time when I started to enjoy the school life much more. That was when the noise gradually turned into a language, into English. But I couldn't have done that without help from a teacher who was able to speak Japanese, working as a volunteer in my after-school classes. So same to foreign students in Japan. I believe that talking in their native language at least once a day can release their anxiety and help them spend a better school life. I didn't even know this problem existed until one of my foreign friends told me that her sister dropped out from school because of a language problem. I was shocked and ashamed of myself. But at the same time, this story made my desire to become a school teacher even stronger, because I might have a chance to help those foreign students someday. And because I know how they feel. Attending school in a foreign country should be exciting, fun, and a wonderful experience, something to be proud of. Since this problem is not well known, I want many people in Japan to know about it. And I hope that many people will volunteer to help these students. People with high skills in foreign languages tend to search for jobs for overseas. But if you are dreaming of becoming a global human, your chance for success is not only outside Japan. There are many students who need your help in our country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You mentioned that after school lesson, by volunteer, was about once a week or so. How many? Okay.
If it's possible, I
If
would
it's
like
possible,
this
how
every
many?
day.
Okay. How many hours at one time?
2 hours.
2 hours. How did? Not 3 hours. Not 4 hours. How come with 2 hours? How did you get that number?
Well, because we already have like 6 periods in our school, so maybe like 3 hours would be like at like 6 o'clock at night. So maybe 2 hours is enough. It was enough for me when I was in the States.
Okay, that's out of your own experience in
Yes.
the States. Okay. The reason I ask this question is that I feel like it's better for us to leave issues to themselves. That is, I think, I know a lot of Vietnamese repents, kids from overseas, and they say they learn how to speak English, for example, through interacting with other kids after school, rather than being given that kind of after-school lesson by somebody else, volunteer. So. Otherwise, they would too much depend on themselves. So, what do you
speaking of returnees, because you mentioned returnees, the reason why I just left returnees out of my speech is because their mother tongue is Japanese, and they don't have the same problems that the foreigners do. So I just concentrated on the foreigners who are just new to Japan. They are learning Japanese for the first time. So if just leave them alone, it's just impossible for them to have a great life in school.
But those Vietnamese I know mentioned that they picked up native languages in those countries they were staying by interacting with other people. By the same token, those foreign kids studying here in Japan in Japanese, I think it's also better for them to be left alone, if I use a harsh word, but leave that issue to themselves and then let them have more opportunities to interact with other kids, to play with other kids, to learn the intercultural difference. Sort of thing, What do you think? That still holds?
But like the volunteers are not with them the entire school hours, so they can have fun interacting with other classmates.
Yes, I think
like 6 people.
I think that's much better. Otherwise, they depend on those volunteers too
Right.
much. That's what I'm afraid of.
Right.
So what do you think? You don't think so?
I don't think so.
You don't know. You don't know exactly. Okay, the last question here. Are there any terms and conditions for us to become a volunteer? Like any website we can visit so that we know better about those terms and conditions, what we can do, which language is most needed, sort of thing?
I haven't found like a website that recruit all the volunteers for foreign students. I'm not sure. The government has done some actions like building schools right next to the original school, but that didn't really work out because it was only in the big cities. So I'm not sure like if there is like a website or like organization that recruit volunteers. I don't know about that yet.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.